What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out a Brandon Herrera video, The Sten. It's a tube in it, is the title. I had to watch this video. I got it sent to me because someone slid into my DMs on Discord and was like, look, Brandon Herrera's done a video on a classic British weapon. He's going to take the piss out of it. It literally says it's a tube in it in the title. You have to watch it. So I'm going to watch it on the reaction with you, on the channel with you, and we're going to have some fun. If you want to watch the video without me waffling over the top, you can certainly go and do that. As always, like I always do, please, first line of the description, go down there, click on the original video, go over to his video, give it a like, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you do that. Really, really important that you do that. Anything else I need to announce? Not yet. I've got some cool announcements coming up soon. If you want to check out all the stuff I'm recording with, down in the description as well. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's pull this up and let's see how many times he's going to take the piss out of us Brits.
Today we're going to be checking out one of history's favorite submachine guns. This is the Sten Mark II, aka the Toob.
The music. The music. Yes! It's such a primitive weapon. It's so old school. It really is just a tube, isn't it?
It's a neat little subgun, innit?
I showed you my Sten.
Number one, taking the piss out of Britain. Number one, already done. Let's get a count.
Please respond. So this is the Sten Mark II, or the motherfucking Toob, as it's colloquially known. This is a 9mm direct blowback submachine gun.
Do we count that as a distance? No.
That fires from the open bolt, which means remove the magazine just to be nice and extra safe there. You can see through the gun, so that's kind of cool. Which means that the bolt hangs to the rear, and the trigger is just there to get out of the way of the bolt.
Yeah.
The action of it slamming forward is what fires the round, and of course the blowback, the energy of that 9mm going off is what pushes.
Where the hell did he get this from? Where does he get these weapons from? I don't understand where he's able to get this from. It makes no sense.
This to the rear, where it's either caught, again, by the trigger, or fires until you run out of ammo. So
yeah.
Why do we give a fuck about the Sten? The Sten is kind of the iconic British submachine gun of World War II. It was designed in 1940 and was used from 1941 through the end of the war. So the Sten did the one thing it was actually designed to do: keep the British alive until the Americans showed up. But why did the British need...
Number two, I think you'll find that the British were holding themselves pretty damn well. Have you ever heard of the Battle of Britain? Come on. We were doing pretty good.
Need a new submachine gun in 1940? Well, you see, kids...
That's the second time he's took the piss out of Britain here. Brandon, I'm coming for you. I saw you doing a boxing match. I'm coming for you. No, I'm not into it, guys. Before you're like, oh my God, he's going to do boxing. I'm not into it. I'm not into boxing. It's not my cup of tea anymore.
The Germans was fucking. Now let's think with our history caps on. What else happened in 1940? Well, World War II in Europe was well underway, but the Americans hadn't gotten involved yet. Needless to say, it was not going well.
No.
But in 1940 in particular, something kind of major happened, which was the evacuation of Dunkirk. You see, the Germans had beat the Allies all the way back to the coast, and the British needed to get across the channel back.
Which, by the way, the story of Dunkirk, oh my God. You can go watch the film, and it does a relatively decent job of telling the story, but wow. Wow, what a story.
Back to the UK ASAP, which meant leaving a lot of their guns and shit behind.
Yeah.
It appears they had been in France too long and were beginning to appropriate their culture by dropping their guns and running away. Anyhow, this left the British military in a very awkward position because they needed more guns and they ended up losing guns. So they needed a very quick, cost-effective, and easy solution to basically getting more guns into more hands fucking ASAP. And that is where the Sten was born. As you can see, there's not a lot to it. We call it a tube because, like all the other, open bolt submachine guns and things that we've talked about that were kind of, built like this one embodies that better than the rest because this is literally a fucking tube.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, some of you...
It's crazy. Did you see the magazine release on that then as well? Holy shit. It's literally just one big button on a spring.
You guys have been asking for Toob t-shirts because we make that joke on
Oh my God, I gotta get that. I gotta get that t-shirt.
the channel all the time. And I'm happy to tell you we finally have them. Because what better gun represents Toob than the fucking Sten? So if you want to check these out, they come in a few different colors. If you want to grab one for yourself, the links are down in the description and in the pinned comment. And it definitely helps out the channel because there's no...
I wonder if that's still available, because what, this is a year old. Let's have a look real quick. Is it still available? It looks like it's still available. Oh, it's got to be in green. It's got to be in green, hasn't it? Does it get my size? I might have to get that, guys. I might have to get that. Ooh, I might have to get it.
way videos like this stay monetized. It's the simplest operating system you could possibly have. Like there's not a whole lot to this. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
And that's why they were able to crank these out for like $11 a piece. Of course, $11 back in the day is a lot more than it is today, just because, you know, it was before
Inflation.
we got off the gold standard and the Federal Reserve and centralized banking started ruining our fucking lives. But anyhow, that is the origin of why the Sten is born.
You know, we're about a third, maybe a quarter of the way through this video. There's only been two times it's taken the mick out of Britain. I feel like something going on there. I feel like he's getting ready to just absolutely hammer us for something.
And why it looks the way it does. Very much a case of necessity being the mother of all invention.
Yeah.
But still need to know the history behind, you know, different gun designs and why they are the way they are. And if gun design interests you, you might want to check out SDI. If you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, but you don't know where to begin, SDI is a great resource. If you haven't heard of them,
Little
back to
cheeky
the
ad.
Sten. ADD brake. Now we all know the Sten was designed to, you know, kill Nazis and all, which is convenient for our ADD brake White Claw penetration test because we have some White Claw supremacists right here. I'm not proud of that joke, but it's the best one I got. I don't know. Telling these White Claws toodaloo in 3, 2, 1.
Stoppage.
Malfunction. Here we go.
I wonder how reliable that thing is. Like, it is very Bobby Basic, isn't it? So how reliable actually was it, and how much wear and tear could it actually have, this thing?
Minor complications, but we got there. Kind of like Berlin. Put this on safe real quick. Check out what we got. I'd say that was pretty properly dispatched. Got at least one good little solid hole there.
They love shooting White Claw, don't
And
they?
yeah, 9mm subgun versus 3 White Claws. I choose the subgun. Tune in next week on the next episode of Deadliest Warrior. So now the actual operation of the Sten. As I've told you before in the beginning, this is a open bolt direct blowback submachine gun. That means that it's using the blowback of the round exploding in the chamber to push the bolt back. Because, you know, it's not like a rifle caliber, it's 9mm, you can do that. You just need a nice hefty bolt. You're not really at risk of it exploding like you would if it was a much higher pressure round, because at the end of the day, this is just all math. Your safety is this right here. So you just, it's kind of like the MP40. All you have to do is just, there's a little channel track here, where if you pull it
It really is crazy simple, isn't it? It really is very Bobby Basic.
a little bit farther back and up, you just let it go. And you can't knock it down, so you can't HK slap the Sten. And of course, it's this open bolt, dropping it forward is how you fire the gun. Trigger is present. As for the magazine release, it is on the top of the mag well here. So
Look
the
at the
mag
size
well
of it.
obviously sticks out to the side here. You push.
Oh wait, I thought it was this thing up here at first. That's what I was thinking that the mag release was, right there.
This button here down, and then the magazine pops right out. Cool mag, by the way. This is apparently Finnish made. It's like a Lend-Lease magazine, so that's pretty neat. Onto the sights. Basically, the British engineers got their heads together and decided they wanted to make a peephole sight, but they wanted one that would obscure as much of the shooter's vision as possible. So you got this rather chunky rear sight here with a little peephole there. And that goes out to this massive triangle of a front sight post.
Jesus.
But I get it. You know, they were in a hurry to make a ton of these. They wanted to keep things super simple. I respect the hell out of that. Now, as for how to properly...
it's not going to be accurate in any way, this thing, is it? It's literally just going to be a spray and pray gun. That's all it's going to be.
Hold the Sten. I've been trying a couple different things. I've seen so many different photos of people just holding these different ways.
Yeah.
Like, obviously one of them, and this is the one I think I prefer, is just the overhand, where you just grab with your hand on top of the magazine there, thumb under, and fire it like that.
Wow.
Or you can go underhand, where your palm of your hand is on the bottom of the mag well, grip it like that and kind of pull it back toward your body. Goes like that. I've seen people like do this number, where they just grab around the barrel or like the shroud and do that. It's
I wouldn't do that.
It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. There's not really a great way
Choose your own
to really get a
adventure.
tactical clamp. Like you can't cop.
Choose your own adventure.
To clamp the fucking Sten. I think of all of those, I kind of, that's not bad. I think I prefer that just because it feels more natural.
Yeah.
But I think a close second's that underhand. This just feels weird.
Yeah.
It's your Sten. Have it your way. And this is my Sten, so I'm gonna do it my way. Now on to disassembly. There's this little plunger hole in the back, which if you pay attention
This is going to show how really basic this rifle is, isn't it?
to Call of Duty Vanguard, is where the bolt pops out of the rear while it fires. Potentially to No Country for Old Men, the shooter, if they get too depressed.
Yo, was that really on Vanguard?
Potentially to No Country for Old Men, the shooter, if they get too depressed. Anyhow, you just push that in, and then the stock just kind of wobbles down, and that
Weird.
actually captures. It retains itself, which is pretty neat. Stock, there's
Piece of metal.
nothing to this at all. So now we're removing the bolt. So what we
The
gotta
stock
do is
is
rotate
the
this
stock is literally just a piece of metal.
end cap a little bit. There we go. And then
Size
this
of that
assembly
spring.
comes out. We have
Size
our
of that
recoil spring,
Jesus.
but our bolt is captive. There's no track that goes all the way to the rear. So we gotta take this charging handle out. There we go. Pull that out, and our bolt drops freely to the rear. And
massive,
this is
isn't it?
our Sten bolt. So you can see here you have a fixed firing pin. That's again because this is open bolt. The firing pin stays forward at all times because it's essentially just slam firing.
Yeah.
But this is your chunky direct blowback bolt. Now another feature of the Sten that I figured I'd show you.
It's such a primitive weapon. I say primitive. Like when you say primitive, you think it's just like a stick with a flint on the end. But I mean, like it's such a primitive machine gun, isn't it? A primitive like rifle. Like it's so Bobby basic. It's almost as if, yeah, it's probably the most simplistic, cheapest rifle I've ever seen.
You guys real quick. The way that you would take the barrel off is this thing right here.
Oh, it's the
This tab, you
big, the
just pull
big
this
button
out, and then this can unthread.
Wow.
And this is what captures your barrel.
Whoa.
So this is your Sten barrel. To put it back, you just plop that in.
That's cool.
Screw that back down into the receiver. And then push that back into place. One other cool
Incredible.
feature I wanted to show you though is the storage feature.
Storage.
In order to store flat for transportation, you can actually pull that pin out. You can rotate the mag well down, which means that the Sten stores like this.
I don't understand. Why didn't they just keep it like that?
You already know where I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't you just build it like this?
Yeah.
I know everybody kind of copied the Germans in the beginning with like the MP18s and stuff like that, but I mean, come on, this is...
Maybe it's because they wanted it as simple as possible when it comes to the shell exiting, and they didn't want it to go up. They wanted it to go to the side, and so to do that, to keep it simple, they just had the mag on the side. That's probably what it was.
You know, I actually started filming this video kind of liking Stens. But anyhow, let's break our mag well angle again. Plops in right like that. So we're gonna take our bolt, put that back in
That's
the gun.
a massive
like so.
bolt, that, isn't it?
Pull our trigger so we can get past that sear. There we go. So now we're gonna bring this to where we can see that charging handle slot again. put our charging handle back in, slam that forward, take our recoil spring,
The giant
put
spring.
on down, and we'll take our cap.
It's a much cooler weapon than I expected it to be. I've not looked into this weapon, so
There we go. So now it's captured again.
we've only got 2 times he's taking the piss out of the British. Only twice. Only twice.
All we have to do is take our stock, push that down, and there's a little track that this has to ride in. And then, boom,
There you go.
we are locked back together.
Easy.
And that is your breakdown of the Sten submachine gun. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on the Sten. Maybe you learned something, and if you didn't, hopefully at least it was entertaining. Remember, you can buy these slick-ass Toob shirts
We've
down
got to get a Toob shirt, haven't we? We've got to.
in the links in the description and in the pinned comment over at my store at Bunker Branding. Of course, I appreciate you guys watching to the end, and as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks. Cheerio!
3. He had to get one in at the end there, didn't he? He had to do one at the very end there. Of course he did. Of course he did. Oh my god. Although if you would have told me that there would only be three times he really takes the piss out of the Brits in that video, I would have been like, no way. Surely not. Surely it's like every other sentence. Only 3 times. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you, Brandon. We are. We're proud of you. Anyway, so if you want to watch the video without me waffling over the top, it's down in the description below, as it always is. You should be over there. Subscribe to Brandon's channel anyway. He's brilliant. His videos are really, really good. They're entertaining. They're educational. They're really fun. Go over there and subscribe. I don't have much for you today. I've got an announcement coming up very soon, I'm hoping. If you're on my Instagram, you've probably already seen the announcement, but if you're not, then just stay tuned and you'll see that very soon. I'm very excited. I think that's pretty much it. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.